So after the NFL finally returned for the 2025 season last week, I made my picks, and boy, I made some good ones. Oh boy, I did. So because of that, I have returned with my week 2 selections. First of all, I just want to go back to last week and flex on all you guys, because look at my picks. Look at my picks. Are you kidding me? 12-4. I mean, Miami. Bit of a shocker on that one. I'm not going to lie. I really thought Miami was going to come out and kill the Colts, and the Colts ended up killing them. New England, Las Vegas, I knew that was kind of like a toss-up, so I wasn't really expecting to be right, but also wasn't expecting to be wrong. Houston Rams, I felt like that was a bit closer than I thought it would be. So, you know, I maybe deserve that one. Minnesota, Chicago, I was so close. But what a great comeback by the Vikings in that game. I mean, a fantastic game. And Chicago ended up not being the outcome as like I picked. But that's okay. What a great week, 12-4. But now it's time to fast forward into week 2. And we're starting with Thursday night football between the Washington Commanders. They're on the road taking on the Green Bay Packers. Washington had a great week 1, beating the Giants. Packers destroyed the Lions, and I'll get to that in just a bit. I think this game will be all right. I think this will be a fun game to watch for Thursday Night Football. But just with how Green Bay played last week against the Lions, I can see a repeat performance of that against Washington. Their defense just absolutely hounded Detroit. I can see that happening again with Washington. I am taking the Packers to win on Thursday Night Football. Now let's go into the 1 o'clock window on Sunday, starting with the New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This matchup, you know, Dallas lost to Philly last week, but it was still a pretty close game, straight to the end. The Giants lost to the Commanders. A divisional matchup here. I am personally going to take the Dallas Cowboys. I still thought they looked pretty decent versus the Philadelphia Eagles, so I think they should beat the Giants here. Next thing, we have DK Metcalf's former team, the Seattle Seahawks, playing his current team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Seahawks, they didn't look all that great against the 49ers last Sunday. I think they felt a bit flat. Meanwhile, the Steelers, I think they played a pretty good game against the Jets. I think that was a really good game, to be honest, way better than I thought it was going to be. Aaron Rodgers played like his former self. With the game being in Pittsburgh, I think the Steelers will take this one. Now, coming off the win at home last Sunday, the Rams are now on the road facing the Tennessee Titans. And I think, personally, they're going to win again. Tennessee looked pretty good against the Broncos on Sunday, but I just think that they're still not at that elite compete level compared to a team like the Rams, who still have a high-powered offense. Devontae Adams looked great. Puka Nacua, even with blood coming out of his eye, he still also looked really good. I'm going to take the Rams on the road for this one. Then we got a couple divisional matchups in the AFC, starting with the Bills and the Jets. The Jets surprisingly looked very good on Sunday versus the Steelers, as I mentioned before, but the Bills looked even better on Sunday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens with that elite comeback, the absolute massive comeback for the Bills. I think the Bills will take this one pretty easily. I want to say it will be a good game. I don't really know, to be honest. But just with the way the Bills played on Sunday, I think they'll take the Jets pretty easily. Then we got the New England Patriots taking on the Miami Dolphins. Now this one, I can't believe I legitimately thought about who I think will win this game. The Dolphins looked horrible against the Colts. We all know that. People are already saying the Dolphins can't come back from this. They're done. The Patriots played a really close game against the Raiders. The Raiders ended up taking the game. I am going to be a second-week believer in the Dolphins. Surprisingly, I'm going to take them. I think they will bounce back from how they played against Indianapolis. Now, if they don't, maybe I'll have to change my mind for the next coming weeks. But for right now, I will take them at home versus the Patriots. Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. In Cincinnati, the Bengals barely came out with a win against the Cleveland Browns, even though I thought that it was going to be much more than a 1-point spread. I think they're going to be back at home, and I think that's going to entice them to do a bit better. I think, we don't know, Cincinnati fans, let me know what you think about that. But I'm going to take them this week still. And if they do lose this week, I think there might be a bit of scrutiny within the fan base and around the NFL. Now we have the banged up San Francisco 49ers taking on the New Orleans Saints. The 49ers got that win against the Seahawks with the help of their defense. And I think that'll become crucial yet again facing the Saints. Yes, the 49ers do not have George Kittle for the next couple of weeks. But Christian McCaffrey, who had injury questions leading up to Sunday, played fantastic last week. I think he'll show up yet again against the Saints, and I'm going to pick the 49ers. Next is the Cleveland Browns taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. Both these teams coming off a 1-point loss in week 1. Yes, the Browns defense and the defensive line looked really good against the Bengals, but I just don't think will be close to a repeat performance against the Ravens. Derrick Henry looked like his old self from last year, even though people said that he can't do it. I'm taking the Ravens on this one. Their offense is just way too powerful. The final game in the 1 o'clock window is the Bears taking on the Lions. The Bears coming off that Monday night loss to the Vikings. The Lions got absolutely destroyed by the Green Bay Packers in the afternoon. I think the Lions being back home, I think they will take this game. I think the week 1 jitters for them were there for sure. The Packers, I think, were prepared for that game. I just can't see them losing this game against the Bears. Now, yes, the Bears did look very good on Monday night, and they will be in for a couple of wins this year. But the Lions, I believe, are just a better team. Now, we only have 3 games in the 4 o'clock window due to an extra Monday night game, which I'll get to in a bit. But next, we have the Denver Broncos on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts get back-to-back home games. It's the battle of the horses. How about that? Broncos defense was solid against the Tennessee Titans. The Colts offense looked amazing against the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be a good test. It's going to be a good game, this one. If Denver's offense is able to be a bit better than they were against Tennessee, I could very easily see them winning this game, and I think that will be the case. Bo Nix, I believe, just has to step his game up just a little bit more than last week. I don't know if he was fully prepared. But yes, I'm taking Denver on this one. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona, even though, yes, they were playing the lowly New Orleans Saints, still played a very good game. I can kind of see almost a repeat performance against the Carolina Panthers, who are still growing as a team. They're still growing big time. I think the Cardinals will just be a bit too much for them this time around. And finally, a game that could possibly be Sunday Night Football. It could be any primetime game this week, really. It is the Super Bowl rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Now, the Chiefs are coming off that loss last week against the Chargers, which I called. The Philadelphia Eagles looked very good against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm going to piss off a lot of Chiefs fans here. They're going to start the year 0-2. The Eagles offense, before the weather delay last week, was solid. It almost seemed unstoppable. The Chiefs defense against the Chargers looked a bit weak. They looked a bit slim. The offense, now without Xavier Worthy, they don't have Rashee Rice. I just don't know how they're going to handle the Eagles defense as well. To me personally, I'm just going to take the Eagles on this one. I don't want to say they're going to win it easily because, you know, Chiefs have that like evil voodoo that everyone knows about. But I'm going to take the Eagles on this one in the Super Bowl rematch. Now we get to the actual primetime game of the week. It is the Minnesota Vikings at home taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta lost their game last week off a missed field goal by Younghoe Koo. Minnesota came back against the Chicago Bears. With the Vikings being at home, that's who I'm taking. I think it will be a close game because Bijan Robinson played like an MVP. JJ McCarthy still looked actually very good when people were kind of questioning whether he would be a NFL caliber quarterback. I think he showed up on Monday night, and I think he will show up on Sunday night as well. I'm taking the Vikings. Now to the 2 Monday night games, and I'm gonna question, not that they have 2, because they've done 2 before, but the timing of the 2. In Eastern time, it's 7 p.m.'s one game, but then 10 p.m. is the other. I don't know who decided that, but I don't like that at all. I really don't. I know, yes, they kind of overlapped in the previous years when they've done it, but I'd rather them like that more than 2 separate games at 2 separate times. I just don't understand it. The first game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road facing the Houston Texans. The Bucs barely got a win last week, all because of a missed field goal, like I just said. I think They still played a very good game. Baker Mayfield looked really good. And the Houston Texans, coming off that loss against the Rams, I think they had more of a show last week. I thought they were going to show up a bit more. Maybe coming home will help them out a bit. But to be honest, me personally, I'm going to take the Buccaneers because I just thought they looked a bit better than the Texans last week. And finally, the late game on Monday, the 10 o'clock game, it's the divisional matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. I have PTSD of a couple of years ago. Every time the Chargers face the Raiders, I hate them to the inside of my soul. But man, even Stephen A. Smith said it. The Chargers look damn good. I thought the Chargers played fantastic against the Chiefs. Offense looked amazing. Defense was solid. Not perfect, but I'll say solid. I'm taking them in this game. The Raiders, yes, they got their win last week against the Patriots. I just don't see how they'll be able to match up against the Chargers offense and play a whole game against the Chargers defense. I just can't see it. I'm taking my Chargers. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my week 2 picks for this week. Just remember, I was 12-4 last week. 12-4. So the football gods will probably give me a 4-12 week this week, but who knows? We'll see. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please make sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the Zucc TV channel if you want more NFL content like this. Also, leave a comment down below about what you thought about my picks. Do you like them? Do you don't? Say, Zucc, you're kind of an idiot, to be honest with you. I thought you'd pick my team, but you didn't. Or I'd pick the same picks as you. I don't know. Say some. Say some. And also click the bell to be notified on when I post next, because I'll be posting one of these every week, unless I have an absolute spiral downhill with my record. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the football. Peace.